Total solutions for any mix, any volume. All managed by Panasim Enterprise Edition. Panasonic. Total solutions beyond SMT.
Welcome to the Microscan booth here at IPC Apex. I'm joined by Christoph Wimmer, who's the Global Sales Director, I believe, for the electronics products.
Close Global Business Development Manager, but thank you so much, Trevor, for being here. We are really excited being at the show with a lot of interesting conversations and a lot of interesting customers coming here with interesting problems.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about some of the products you've got here. I mean, you recently introduced a new camera system. A lot of your systems are really sort of track tracing control, barcode readers and that type of thing. But you brought out a new Microhawk recently. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. So we just recently released a new product line called Microhawk, and we are very excited, and it has a lot of interest in the industry because it's absolutely revolutionary in the form factor that it has really a lot of performance in a very, very small form factor that you can't find anywhere else in the market. Additionally, it's completely modular, so we can really configure it exactly to the needs of the customers and make it exactly fitting to their applications. And we also introduced something completely new in the market where we are actually not having setup software that you have to install, but we have our setup software and configuration software running directly on the unit. And that allows you to directly plug in the Microhawk unit into your computer and configure it directly through your web browser. And that's absolutely new in the market. And we are very excited because it removes a lot of the hassles that customers have in downloading software, installing software, making sure that they have the right software on their computer running. And here you have it just in a very, very easy way. And this new technology, we called it WebLink. And we really configured it to make it as easy as possible for the end user to configure their units. Right.
That certainly sounds user-friendly, Christoph. Now, I've got one of the Microhawks here in my hand, and you can see it's a fairly small form factor. So I'm guessing that your challenge is always to try and get the maximum camera vision out of this with the processing capability all in this one little box.
Yes, and that's one of the big challenges, and so we have very smart engineers that do their best to really put the optimal performance into these small packages. And we are not only looking at process performance, but also at memory and communication, because especially if you're looking at Industry 4.0 and all this interconnectivity where customers want to be able to access the information from everywhere in their whole shop floor, but also even further, it's really important to have all these kind of information available. But the processor power is definitely something that's always challenging, especially as our customers are asking us for larger and larger images size, and they are having smaller and smaller codes on the other side. So that makes it definitely a challenge, but at least we have smart engineers and they help us definitely.
Excellent. Okay, but I think it's important to point out to our viewers that you use these the camera systems for gathering the image data, but then that's processed up the line to the MES system or to Microscan or one of these other companies that's Mentor Graphics or whoever that is going to process it for Industry 4.0.
As we are focusing on three areas, that gathering traceability data, inspecting components, and then as well verifying barcodes, we take that information and we actually process this data so that it becomes available then in MES systems, and they are actually then using that information to make decisions for the further machines, what should happen with the different components, where should the PCB go, what should be the next process steps.
Excellent. Okay. So as you touched on earlier, I mean, these machines go well beyond the production line itself. I mean, They go into box build, where there's a lot more automation and robotics coming in. They go into the supply chain management of materials and all sorts of different areas in the factory.
Yes, and you mentioned some very interesting applications for us, and we see that especially robots are being used more and more in these kind of applications, and we see it now coming in SMD lines because it provides automation, and automation provides more traceability and really reliable performance and quality then in the end. And we see these trends especially in the automotive and the medical device industry, who rely a lot on those traceability data. And with the robots, you have this possibility to have flexible automation in your whole line. Mm-hmm. And with robots, of course, you want to have your units as small as possible so they don't take too much space on your robots. And there, Microhawk is definitely a great unit and is being applied by a lot of our partners and customers.
Excellent. Okay. So, Christoph, one of the other new areas I want to talk about is panel scan. Can you maybe explain to our viewers a little bit about this new area?
Thank you very much, Trevor. So we have here a panel scan system, and the idea with panel scan is that our customers have these panels and they want to scan all the codes that they have on the panel. And it's a really big challenge, especially if you have labels on your panels and you have them hand applied. You don't really know where the labels went, and you want to scan them all and integrate them into your MES system afterwards. And so we created this very smart system that's very easy to configure, that uses a line scan camera to capture all the codes that you have on a whole panel. And it is a very, very smart innovation that we put in there that a lot of our customers are using to actually increase their traceability in their overall manufacturing line.
Yeah, and that's a great idea, and I think we can see from the panel behind us here that this one, the machine or the demonstration here is capturing something like, was it 20 barcodes in one sweep?
Exactly. So, and we can go even higher. So this system at the moment, how it's configured, can capture up to 200 barcodes at one shot, and can capture panels that go up to 20 inches. So we are really pushing the limits of technology that you can really integrate this into your production line.
Well, it's great to see the latest technology from Microscan. Thank you for spending the time with us today, Christoph, and we look forward to hearing more from you in the future.
Thank you very much.